Yes, so good afternoon everyone. Today we are going to start with our next prose, that is the old clock shop. So what do you see in front of you? What is there written and what can you see basically? What type of shop do you see? Do you think it is looking from this time or from old times? And what happens in this shop? It's written on the picture only. Yes. I'll give you a few seconds to write your observations in the comment section below. Yes, so if we talk about this picture, we can see that there are different clocks in the shop, right? And this is a repair shop basically, and it is not from this is not looking like any modern shop. It is belonging to the older times, in the older era basically, where there are different antiques clocks which we can see in the picture also. So we'll be discussing more about it. Yes. Now you will be telling the time that you see in different these six clocks basically. This different clocks are showing different time basically. You will be telling what time it is in these clocks. I'll be giving you 15 seconds to do that, as you'll have to observe and write the responses in the comment section below. Yes, so I'll be writing the answers as well along with you. I hope you are able to see this as well. Yes, in the first picture, the time will be 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock, right? If you talk about the first picture. And if you talk about the second picture, then the time will be 4 o'clock. It's not that difficult for you. And subsequently in the third picture, the time will be 5 o'clock. Now others, you can only guess that in the next picture, the time will be 6 o'clock. And the next 7 o'clock. And in the next, it will be 8 o'clock. So that is the time that is being depicted in different clocks, these six clocks, right? Now we know that how important it is for us. The clock is important for us, right? Yes, so we will be moving forward. Yes, now you will be telling that old clock shop is situated in. Yes, so this is a bit of misunderstanding here. Yes, you will be ignoring this slide. Yes, now you will have to observe these pictures. Yes, so you'll have to observe these pictures. Now we have two pictures in front of us. What do you think? What are they telling? Basically which season, or we can say which season they are depicting? We can see that it is, yes, very good. It is the winter season that these pictures are depicting. And which festival do you think it is? It should be. Yes, so the festival here, it is the Christmas festival, Christmas Eve basically. So we'll be studying about that. We'll be reading about that. So we should move forward now. Yes. So Christmas Eve had arrived, and last minute shoppers were going home. And last minute shoppers were going home. A thick white sheet of snow lay over Salt Lake City, USA. Yet the lights were still burning in the old clock shop. As Ray, its old deaf owner, worked on a clock he had sold that day. Having finished his work, Ray stood up and was on his way to go back room, when a cold rush of air from the front door hit the back of his neck. He turned to meet a last-minute shopper, but his old wise eyes told him that this was not a shopper. He was he saw two men, one in his 20s and the other closer to 50. The younger man remained at the door. I'll be moving myself. Yes. So the younger man remained at the door. The older man approached the counter with no sign of friendliness, basically, in his eyes. Ray was able to hide his growing fear as he slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil. Yes. So we will be discussing upon it now. So it was, what was it? It was Christmas Eve. The Christmas Eve had arrived with when someone has come to existence. So they have the festival. If we talk about the Diwali festival, when we say it is going to come, and when it finally comes, then we are saying that the Diwali festival had arrived now. Has arrived now. Now, as last minute shoppers were going home, everybody was going home, a thick white sheet of snow lay over Salt Lake City. The pictures which we just saw in the previous slide, yes, this is the Salt Lake City. That's how the sheet of snow will look like over here. Yes. Yes, USA. That is in USA. Yet the lights were still burning in the old clock shop. So everybody was going home, but in the old clock shop, the light was still burning because the Ray, who is old and deaf, owner of that shop, worked on a clock. He was working on a clock which he had sold that day. So having finished his work, Ray stood up and was also on his way to the deaf and old owner of the old clock shop was also on his way to go home or go to his room, but there was this cold rush of air which came from the front door because it was open. He turned to meet a last minute shopper, which he then came to know that he realized he was having this intuition that this was not a shopper. He saw that there were two men. One out of those men is seemed to be in his 20s, and the other seemed like he was closer to 50. And the younger man did not approach the Ray, but he remained at the door, and the older man approached the counter with no sign of friendliness in his eyes. When we say no sign of friendliness, then we know that when we want to approach someone, we sometimes tend to be friendly toward them, right? We shake hands or we have a smile on our face, but when we say no sign of friendliness, then he was not showing any kind of smile. He was having a poker face, or we can say there was no sign of approachable sign in his eyes. So Ray was able to hide his growing fear. He was having this fear that he might not be the shopper and he might be someone else who may harm him. His growing fear as he slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil. Yes, we'll be looking after now what is there to discuss about this paragraph, or we can say the passage. So we have discussed the word that is arrived. Now the other words that are there is you can also write your words in the comment section while I am still searching for it. Yes, so a cold rush of air. So this quick movement of air which has came across because someone has opened the door and it has hit the back of the Ray's neck, right? So that is cold rush, means that the cold wind was there, and rush means when it is moving quickly towards the owner of the shop because someone has opened the door. He turned and meet last minute shopper. Shopper is someone who has come to shop something, to buy something. Yes, so this is all about it. So we have discussed this passage. You will be telling that why Ray thought that the two persons were not a shopper. Yes, why do you think Ray thought that the two persons were not a shopper? How do you think they are looking? They are looking friendly to you? Yes, you will be writing your responses in the comment section below, that are they looking friendly to you? If not, then why do you think they are not looking friendly? What according to you should be the reason? Yes, because we can see there is no smile on the face, and from their body language as well we can tell that they are not friendly, and they must not be here for shopping. They are not here to shop something on an old repair shop of clock, right? So we'll be moving forward from here. You will be testing your understanding with these questions, that the two people were first shoppers at Ray's shop. Yes. Were they the first shoppers at Ray's shop, or the opposite of it? Yes. So the two people were there. They were not the first shoppers at Ray's shop, because he was about to go to his room when they came, right? And they showed no sign of friendliness. So he thought that they might not be the shoppers. So this was the false statement. Yes. Now we will be reading this passage. You will be reading along with me. Yes, he smiled at the unfriendly face, then pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side, just like this. A quick look of surprise changed the man's face as he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. Ray used the chance to look closely at the man, paying attention to the shape of a gun and a restless hand in the man's right coat pocket. Anger boiled within him, but it was kept down by an inner voice that said, "Be still." He wrote on the notepad, "May I help you?" For the first time, the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled. A cruel, mocking smile. They both understood why he was there, why his friend remained at the door, and they looked like men who were down on their luck and were now ready to try something they would later be sorry about. Yes, so you must be knowing what is now happening in this passage. So we'll be discussing about it. So he smiled at the unfriendly face. So Ray, instead of getting scared, he tried to smile at the unfriendly face that he was looking at, then pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. That he was pointing like this and shaking his head side to side. He was trying to tell them that he is not able to hear, he is deaf, and that is why he is passing the note to the unfriendly man who has just came across in the shop. A quick look of surprise changed the man's face as he studied the notepad. So the man who was unfriendly, who was a shopper, uh, who alleged shopper. So there was this surprised look on his face as he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. So he turned back and said something to his friend who was still at the door of the shop. Ray used the chance to look closely at the man. So Ray, because he was not, the man who was unfriendly was not looking at Ray at this time, because he was talking to his friend who was still at the door. So Ray took this chance to look closely at the man and paying attention to the shape of a gun and a restless hand in the man's right coat pocket. So he saw that the unfriendly man was having a restless hand and he was having a gun in his right coat pocket. So anger boiled within Ray's mind, but he thought that he should keep down, and an inner voice came into his mind that, "Be still, you should not move." He wrote on the notepad, "May I help you?" He was still asking them for help, asking them that whether they need his help. For the first time, the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled. So now, after seeing that note, he was also surprised. The older man, he looked at Ray directly and he smiled. The smile was cruel. That was not nice. Cruel means something that is evil or something that is not positive, basically. So mocking smile, mocking someone when we try to do that because we are making fun of something. That is the mocking smile, basically. They both understood why he was there. So now Ray and the older man both were having this understanding that what is the situation, and Ray have understood that what is the situation, why they are there, and they must be suffering from this misfortune, some misfortune, and they are now there to try their luck, to try something new. So but they think the Ray thinks that they will be sorry about this, their actions. They will be sorry about their actions later on in the future. So we'll be looking at what comes next now. Now it's your turn. You will be sharing your experience when you were asked to be friendly with someone or some person who was unfriendly. You will be writing your responses in the comment section below. I'll give you 10 to 20 seconds to do that, to share your experience to this question. Yes. So very good, students. You have shared your experience with us. So we can see it is not a nice feeling when we have to be friendly to someone who is not friendly, or who is giving signs of unfriendliness, right? We have to make more efforts, and we cannot expect those efforts to be returned in that case also. So that is the whole situation here that Ray was facing. Now you will be giving answer to this question, that is, who gave Ray the cruel mocking smile and why? You will be writing your responses in the comment section below, that who gave Ray the cruel mocking smile and why is the reason that why they gave him that smile. So it was the older man. It was a man who was older out of the two shoppers who gave Ray the smile, the mocking smile, basically cruel and mocking smile, and they gave him that smile because he has passed on that notepad to him, the older man, that may I help you, which the older man was also surprised. So he gave that mocking smile to Ray on that. Yes, now we'll do a quick recap of things. So what we have discussed today. So there was this shop, that old clock shop that was in the Salt Lake City, which is in USA. So on the Christmas Eve, the owner of the shop, who is an older person who is deaf, he was about to leave. He was there. Everybody has left. All the shoppers had left. Now he was still here because he was repairing a clock that he had sold. So he was repairing that. Then in the last minute, when he was about to leave, he was about to go to his home, his room, we can say. So there were these two shoppers who came in the last, and they were not looking like shoppers. They were not showing any sign of friendliness. To that, Ray was also scared of them, but still he chose to pass the note. He then nodded his head while pointing toward his ear that he is not able to hear, he is deaf, and then he passed on that note that was saying that how may I help you. That to that the one man who was older towards his 50s and the other who was in 20s, who was standing at the door. So the man who was older, he took the note, and when he read that, he was smiling. He gave the Ray a mocking smile, a cruel smile, and they have understood the situation. They have read the statement. Ray have also read the statement, that situation, that it was not a positive situation, because he has seen that in the right coat pocket, he was the older man was having a gun, which is trembling hand, right? So he was not there with positive intentions. So he tried to remain calm. Ray tried to remain calm, smile at the shoppers, but he was still scared of them. So still he offered help, and then he also tried to talk to them, to make them stay calm, and to make them communicate with them. So because he has understood their intention, that they are not there with a positive thought. They must be suffering from any misfortune, and they are low and they're on their luck. So they are there to try something new, for to which they might be regretting in the future. So that is what we have read till now, which will be continuing in the next class. So you will be answering these questions. To do a quick recap, so who is the owner of the old clock shop? You will be giving your answers in the comment section below, that who according to you was the owner of the old clock shop. Yes, we have seen the owner was deaf, he was old, he was running a shop on Salt Lake City in USA, and there was this thick coat of snow on the Christmas Eve, when he was still repairing the clock. So what is the name of the owner of the old clock shop? So that is the Ray. Ray is the name of the owner of the old clock shop. Yes, very good. You all are right. So meaning of cruel and mocking. So I have told you the meaning of these two words previously as well during the class. So you will be writing the meaning of these two words in the comment section below. I'll give you 5 to 10 seconds for that. Yes, so the meaning of cruel and mocking is, cruel means something evil or something with bad intentions, not with good intentions. And mocking means sometimes when we are making fun of something and we are smiling. So that is a mocking smile, basically, when we're making fun of someone. Then Ray was dash and dash. You will be feeling according to you. What do you think he should be? How will you explain? How will you explain the personality of Ray? So Ray was deaf and he was old. So Ray was an old and deaf man. So the last question is, what was the intention of the two persons? Now, after reading the passages, two passages, what do you think was the intention of the two person who has just came when Ray was about to go home? Yes, so we know now that the intentions of the two persons were not positive. They were not good because they were having a gun. They were having a cruel smile on their face. They were mocking Ray for his kindness, and also they were showing no sign of friendliness in their behavior. So we came to know that they are not friendly, and the intentions were not nice. They must be suffering from any misfortune, or they must be low on their luck. So they are there to try something new, which they might regret later on. So for the homework, I have these things for you, that you will be writing the character sketch of Ray in 10 lines. What do you think? How will you describe the character of Ray in 10 lines? We will be doing that. And then if you were in place of Ray, what would you do and why? You will be telling that if you were in place of Ray, what would you do in this situation that Ray is facing, and why would be what would be the reason that you would be doing that thing, that reaction, that response which you will be giving? What is the reason behind that reaction that you will be writing? And you will create a vocabulary chart using this format: word and this meaning, synonym and antonyms. So you will be creating a vocabulary chart of the words which we have discussed today in the two passages. You will be writing those difficult words and you will be making this vocabulary chart on those words. So this is it for today. We will be continuing with this story in our next upcoming class, that is the Old Clock Shop, which was run by Ray. Yes, and we'll be seeing what happens next after Ray has shown his kindness to them and they were smiling at him. So we'll be looking at that also. All the queries, if there are any questions, any queries that you want to know, you can write them in the comment section below. I'll be checking upon them later on. I'll also be checking the responses that you have given during the class, which I was not able to while giving it properly. So I have a certain look at I have looked at some of the responses, but not all of them. So I'll be looking at them, and if there are any words which you find difficult to understand, you can mention those words in the chat box again. So I'll be checking upon that. I'll be telling you the situation where you can explore the meaning of those words. Either I'll be telling you the answer to those questions, those you are finding difficult to understand. I hope these things are made pretty easy for you. You'll be able to understand. You will be able to know what I wanted to tell you. So this session is going to end now. So we'll be meeting again soon in the next class with the follow-up story, which we'll be looking at later on. I hope you have found this lecture interesting, and you'll be coming along in the next session as well, which will be starting soon. If you have any suggestions, you can write them in the comment section. I'll be reading those and I'll be surely working on those suggestions as well. You must keep on learning new things. Yes, so the session is about to end now. We'll be meeting again in our next class. Till then, stay healthy and stay happy. Yes, thank you class for being good students. We'll be meeting again soon. Thank you so much.